in Sheffield. Mixed fortunes for the home fighters, but an incredible display, in particular that incredible super heavyweight bout. The home fighter, of course, for us, for the GB interest, was Delicious Ori, who put in an incredible performance against his German opponent. Didn't get the result, but what a display that was. Ori, of course, one of the fighters who's already qualified, secured his place in Paris 2024. More than 90 boxers are going to be fighting over this 4-day tournament of Olympic-style boxing from 16 different countries, and they're going to be competing in 7 weight categories for the men, 6 weight categories for the women. Of course, as we said this morning, always a matter of great pride when representing your country, but plenty at stake here. This, of course, a huge tournament in terms of fighters vying for their place to be selected to go to the next Olympic qualifying tournament next month. That is going to be at the forefront of every fighter's mind throughout this tournament, wanting to make sure that they earn the selection from their respective nations. This in association with England Boxing, GB Boxing, World Boxing, UK Sport, National Lottery and Sheffield City Council. We've had a great morning. We've got 7 bouts on the evening session, as you can see there on the screen. We've got some home interest in the second bout with Ivy Jane Smith. Had a 5-year break from boxing and has had a standout year as she's made her way back to the sport in the last 12 months. We've also got Lauren Macky in bout number 3. She's up against a tough Danish opponent in Melissa Mortenson. So plenty of interest on the way. And you'll notice in the final bout, the men's heavyweight category, Adam Alore, who you may have seen in the English Championship finals, because he's actually won an English national title representing Nigeria, Nigerian and African champion as well. Lots of interesting stories about these fighters to share, so many different journeys and pathways and routes to get to where they are, but of course their ultimate dream is to reach that Paris 2024 Olympic qualifying tournament. Let's get the introduction now from our MC, Craig Denholm.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English Institute of Sport, Sheffield. My name is Craig Denham, and I'm the Master of Ceremonies for this second session of the GB Open World Boxing Cup. The event is brought to you by GB Boxing, UK Sport, the National Lottery, Sheffield City Council, England Boxing and Sting. Our competing nations are the Czech Republic, Denmark, England, Finland, Germany, Mongolia, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Norway, Panama, Scotland, Sweden and French Polynesia. So ladies and gentlemen, the officials are ready and the boxers are ready. It's time to make some noise. It's time to start boxing. So, introducing your boxers to the ring. Firstly, introducing your red corner representing Panama, it's YULIETT HINESTROZA.
So Inostroza from Panama making her way to the red corner. Big cheers from the crowd. She's got good support behind her. This for the women's flyweight 50 kilo category. Everybody has a different way of making their way to the ring. The Panamanian fighter bouncing on her toes, bouncing once she gets inside the ring, banging her gloves together, very much ready, the adrenaline running through the veins, ready for the contest ahead. She awaits her opponent from Finland, who's about to make her way to the ring.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring representing Finland. Give it up for PIHLA, KAIVO-OJA.
So here comes the 50 kilo flyweight fighter from Finland, PIHLA KAIVO-OJA. She's in with a very experienced coach. Of course, they've produced some top quality champions over the years. The Finnish national team, including the lightweight standout fighter Mira Pokkanen, who was somewhat of a pretty formidable machine when she stepped through the ropes. Vastly experienced fighter. I noticed that on Instagram she'd commented on KAIVO-OJA's post, wishing her luck, telling her to trust her training, focus on the journey ahead. Great words of advice from a very experienced, top quality amateur Finnish teammate. As we get ready to get this flyweight 50 kilogram women's bout underway, our first of the evening, 7 bouts on this evening session, top quality Olympic style boxing ahead. Referee just making the final checks with the boxers, making sure their head guards are in place, as our MC Craig Denholm is about to introduce both fighters.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 6, which is a women's flyweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Introducing your boxers, and firstly, boxing out of the red corner, we're in the all red with white trim, and hailing from Panama, give it up for YULIETT HINESTROZA. And across the ring, her opponent boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim and representing Finland, give it up for PIHLA KAIVO-OJA. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Alexander Darbish, representing Germany.
Here we go then, about to get our first bout of the evening underway. Stacey Copeland here with you, taking you through tonight's action. Alongside me, Johan Croft, Commonwealth Games gold medalist and European Games bronze medalist. Johan, lovely to have you with us. What have you made of the tournament so far?
Yeah, I joined the morning session. Really enjoyed it, some good fights. Obviously started with the 2 GB girls going at it. And finishing with Delicious. He's on the wrong end of a 3-2 split, but I'm sure he'll be a bounce back stronger than he is. And yeah, looking forward to this session now.
Well, a bright start here. We've got quite a difference in experience between these 2 fighters. The Finnish boxer far more experienced. He's fought a couple of our own GB boxers in the Tama tournament most recently. She's 7-time national champion, the Finnish boxer, youth European silver and under 22s European bronze medalist. She's been in training camp in Germany recently. She's made a sharp start to this. She's Nordic champion last year, Boxai tournament as well, so experienced fighter. What have you made of this so far, Johan?
Yeah, it's a positive start from the Finnish fighter. She's got the front foot straight away. She's getting caught with that backhand over the top from the girl in red. That's something for her to watch for, but I'm sure she'll start to get her range. But yeah, I'm sure the blue corner will be happy with this start.
It's interesting, isn't it, as well, because in the fights before, when Lewis Richardson was alongside me and we were talking about the sort of difference in, you can get those front foot fighters who are putting the pressure on and dominant in terms of the ring position, and then the fighter who's more comfortable off the back foot counter punching, and it's which you prefer sometimes. And I was talking to George Brugnola before, who's here to oversee the judging and referees at this tournament, very, very experienced official, and he was saying sometimes what we enjoy as fans doesn't necessarily lend itself to, you know, point scoring shots.
Well, no, you've got to do what suits you in the ring. I know the crowd enjoyed to see a fight, but at the end of the day, you've got to stick to a game plan that your coaches give you, and that's not always the most entertaining thing, but you've got to stick to what you're good at, and I think that's what the boxer in blue's doing. She's had a very good start.
Oh, HINESTROZA from Panama fought in her first Pan Am Games last October. She beat the fighter from the Dominican Republic, Navani Nunes. She was beaten in the quarter-finals subsequently by Brazil's Caroline de Almeida. She's building up her experience, but making a great account of herself. And what backhand! And quite rightly pointed out by Johan before that when she times that backhand, it's really accurate, and it's an eye-catching shot, isn't it, Johan?
Yeah, it's a nice punch. It looks like it's a bit behind it as well. Just be nice to see her do more than that, maybe go again afterwards, and give the boxer in blue something to think about.
Of course, they have another fighter, Athena Bailon from Panama, who's a former Olympian, competed at Rio 2016, and she won the World Championships in 2014 in Jeju in Korea, which I was at actually, and I remember us all being pretty shocked at. She was about 10 feet tall for the weight. It was pretty incredible, but she's gone on to continue competing. She will in fact be appearing at this tournament. What did you make of that first round then, Johan? Who would you give that to?
Yeah, I think the boxer in blue had a good start there to the fight. I think the coach in the corner will be pretty happy, but I'm sure they'll want to see a build on that now. And I think the girl in red has to come for her a bit now. I imagine she's could be one round down, so maybe come on that front foot and take the fight to the boxer in blue.
Well, a good start then for Finland's KAIVO-OJA, taking instructions from her coach in the corner there. Very experienced coach. Very same one actually that coached Mira Pokkanen to many victories. A very experienced Finnish fighter. And as I say, on Instagram, she gave her a word of advice and encouragement on her post when she was saying that she was heading to Sheffield, getting ready for this tournament. So good to see those with a strong legacy and who've achieved a great deal, encouraging the next generation. What do you think HINESTROZA can do here, Johan? She's clearly at a disadvantage in terms of height and reach, but she's quick, isn't she? And she's accurate with that counter when she gets it right. Like
she done there, she let her hands go a bit more. She threw 3 or 4 shots, like there. She landed a backhand. So just more of that, taking the fight to her a bit, make her uncomfortable, and fight at her range, get in close where it suits her.
Good work. She's stepping forward, and it's tended to be so far KAIVO-OJA, the Finnish fighter fighting in blue out of the blue corner. She's tended to take centre ring position and push the boxer from Panama back. She's of course fighting out with the red corner, wearing the red kit and red head guard, HINESTROZA. She's been on the back foot mostly, but she seems to be a bit more of a coming together in this one, isn't there, Johan? She's not on the back foot as much. She's coming more to the centre and happy to go have a few exchanges with her.
Yeah, this round's been a bit more. They've been fighting from the centre a bit more. That's one thing the boxer in blue's good at. She's very good at controlling the distance with that jab. She's fairly tall for the weight, and she just drifts those feet in and out when she needs to. Stays out of range, and that's a good backhand there for her.
Of course, the 5 judges will be taking into account technical and tactical superiority, the way that fighters impose themselves on the other, of course landing shots on target areas. Lots to consider for the judges. 10-point must-win system. If they're all in agreement, it's a unanimous decision. If not, they take the majority, and that's a split decision, of course. Second round here, fast-paced action. There's fast hands. They're really hard to call these types of exchanges, Johan, aren't they, for judges, because they're happening in a flurry at a frenetic pace. Lovely backhand there from the Finnish fighter, KAIVO-OJA.
I think the boxer in red now, she's trying to force it a little bit too much, which will suit the boxer in blue.
And this is the difficulty, isn't it? Once you find yourself chasing, you can be leaning over that front foot, over-committing and get yourself caught.
And I think that will fall into the hands of the boxer in blue. She'll punch and move off like she's doing there.
Lovely work. She's making better use of those long levers and that reach advantage, isn't she? And she seems to have found a rhythm now, KAIVO-OJA. She's getting the range and the distance right, and that's affording her the ability to throw shots at range and make it difficult for HINESTROZA, the boxer from Panama, to land. A good second round for both fighters there. Who would you have that in favour of, Johan? A difficult one to call.
It's a lot closer round, but I think it's still gone to the way of the blue corner. I mean, the red corner there, she really did come out strong. She'd need to do similar now, keep the pressure on her. But yeah, another good round from the blue corner. She's controlling the fight very well, keeping the distance, and the boxer in red now really needs to come for it and try and win this last round.
And what's the difficulty in terms of, you know, people might think, oh, it's simple, you just go for it, and you hear people shout that in the crowd, don't you? Just put it on them, put them under pressure, go at them. But of course, there's a risk that comes with being reckless in that regard, isn't there? There has to be intelligent pressure when you may be behind. We don't know if she is or not, of course. We're
Seconds
not privy
out.
to the judges' scorecards. But if you are behind going into that last round, how do you make those
and
adjustments?
last round.
Yeah, you've got to be careful what you're doing, especially with a fighter like this in blue. If you rush at her, it's going to suit her down to the ground. She'll just hit you on the way in and move. So you've got to time it well. You've got to be a little bit patient and work your way in, but pick your time to go, which we'd like to see from the boxer in red now.
Some fierce exchanges from both fighters. Wild swing there from Panama's HINESTROZA. The Finnish fighter is doing a good job of keeping that range and distance.
Yeah, that's a good backhand.
Ships a big backhand there. That's been a quality shot for HINESTROZA, that, Johan, throughout this contest.
She found the home for it within the first 20 seconds and it's still landing now. You think it's something that the boxer in blue would try and maybe step to her right and get out the way of.
She's going to have to think, isn't she, about once she's let her hands go, defending. She can't switch off because HINESTROZA is pretty quick to come back with that backhand. And again there we see her finishing that exchange as well. Fast hands and fierce exchanges between the two fighters. Nice work though from KAIVO-OJA. What she did well there, Johan, was catching her but then taking that step back and keeping that distance, which made it difficult for HINESTROZA to close the gap.
Yeah, it's that little half step she does and punch with it. The boxer in red's finding it very hard to get to her without walking onto something, because the timing in blue is very good. So she's just got to move ahead a bit on the way in, the boxer in red, and hopefully get out the way of them and land her own punches.
Referee having a quick word about holding, and the action resumes. It's having moments of success, HINESTROZA, the boxer in red from Panama. But KAIVO-OJA seemingly has the edge on this one, but we don't know quite how the judges have it. Referee just calls a pause to the action. And this, of course, is one of the problems when you have long hair and you're wearing the head guard, that it can come out. It's always a difficulty for the coaches to have to deal with in the corner. Probably one of the things, Johan, that's the most pressure that coaches feel. They've got to sort out a ponytail that's gone a bit skew, and I remember my dad in a bout doing it once, and I came out and just threatening to cut it all off.
Yeah, that's probably
going to have to learn to do a ponytail, Dad. Seems like he's got this well under control though. And when you obviously, like KAIVO-OJA is in this position here, just a minute left in this bout, having a rest, what's going through your mind at this stage, Johan? Final minute remaining in the last round of the bout.
I think she'll want to keep doing what she's doing. I imagine she's in the lead there. Hit a move, stay out of danger, stay away from that backhand, because I think it's still a dangerous shot from the
She looks so
Panamanian.
effective, KAIVO-OJA, doesn't she, when she throws those long shots but then adjusts her feet and gets out the way. Yeah, it's just that's the margin of difference, but it makes it incredibly difficult for the boxer from Panama to land. When she holds her feet, as we've just seen there, that backhand's such an effective shot for the fighter from Panama.
That's one thing the boxer in blue's done from start to finish here, is she punches first and punches last.
Yeah, she's first and third, isn't she? And it is eye-catching, you would think, for the judges. Out of that southpaw stance, she's leads off well with that long jab and then allows the Panamanian boxer to come to and then catches her again. When she shifts her feet after, it's an effective tactic. But moments of success for HINESTROZA. She's made some good adjustments here in against a difficult opponent with the experience that KAIVO-OJA has.
Yeah, I think she can be very happy, the boxer in red here, with that performance, because boxer in blue is very experienced and she's picked up a lot of medals in her career, I'm sure, and the boxer in red there did make a good account of herself, definitely.
Yeah, she's a 7-time Finnish national champion. She's been a youth European silver medalist, under 22 European bronze medalist. She lost in the GB tournament final last year, and those tournaments are tough to get to the final stages, so that says everything about her pedigree. Nordic champion as well, so brings a great pedigree, but a really good performance from HINESTROZA here as well. This is the flyweight women's 50 kilogram category. Fought in the first Pan Am Games last October, did YULIETT HINESTROZA. Beat the fighter Navani Nunes from the Dominican Republic, but was then subsequently beaten in the quarter-finals by Brazil's Caroline de Almeida, but certainly made a good account of herself here. And has she done enough to get the nod from the judges?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 6, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, where your officials at ringside score a unanimous decision victory. All in favour of your winner. Boxing out of the blue corner, it's PIHLA KAIVO-OJA. A round of applause, both boxers.
We're 1 for 1 so far, Johan. We called it, we got that one right. We got a couple wrong, Lewis and I, this morning, but that one went as expected. We felt that the Finnish boxer KAIVO-OJA was the dominant fighter, although HINESTROZA put up a good account of herself. A good win for the Finnish fighter.
Yeah, definitely. I think she made it easy for us to score with the clean punching. She didn't get hit with too much, but yeah, nice clean punching, clever boxing, and eye-catching for the judges.
A great bout to kick us off for this evening's session. 6 bouts remaining, and in this upcoming bout we've got a home interest in GB fighter representing England here, Ivy Jane Smith. She is up against a very, very tough, solid opponent in the German fighter Macky Kutzer. This one promises to be a humdinger. Women's 50 kilo flyweight division. Let's go to our MC Craig Denholm to introduce the fighters.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 7. Introducing your red corner to the ring, representing England. Give it up for Ivy Jane Smith.
Ivy Jane Smith making her way to the ring for this 50 kilo women's flyweight bout. Really interesting story. Originally from down south, made her home now in Sheffield, fights out of the Steel City Gym. World silver, European bronze medalist, national champion, brings an incredible pedigree with her from both the youth and senior ranks. Boxed at the Youth Worlds Finals in 2017 at 54 kilograms, won the silver medal there. Had 5 years out of the sport, been back into it 12 months, and I think it's fair to say it's going pretty well so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring, representing Germany, is Macky Kutzer.
And her opponent today, the German fighter Macky Kutzer, making her way to the ring in the tournament that's the equivalent to this one that was held in Cologne last year. She won gold and best female fighter performance at that tournament. So again, a fighter with great pedigree. European under-22 bronze medalist as well, vastly experienced. So these two, I suspect we are going to have a highly competitive, quality bout from two highly skilled operators. Referee making the final checks. Our MC will now officially introduce both fighters. Don't take your eyes off this one. It'll be a fast-paced, exciting bout ahead. Ivy Jane Smith of England and Macky Kutzer of Germany.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 7, which is a women's flyweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Introducing your boxers, and firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the all red with white trim, and representing England, give it up for Ivy Jane Smith. And across the ring, her opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, and representing Germany, give it up for Macky Kutzer. Your referee at the bell is Mandy Brown of Wales.
There you go, one of your own, Johan. Fellow.
Yeah, I know. I think Mandy, she's judged my brother, ref my brother actually, in the national finals quite a few years ago.
Fairly.
So,
no needle there. Good.
It was a good 5 years ago.
Second bout underway then. Really interesting one this is. Ivy Jane Smith took 5 years out of the sport. Decided to come back to it at the beginning of last year. Boxing out of Steel City Gym, of course. Grant Smith's gym. Her coach is Piers Gudgeon, and it's been a pretty incredible 12 months since she made the decision to get back between the ropes. I was actually with her, Johan, and the youth team. I was there as a chaperone because I was a senior England boxer at the time, and I went along with the youth team to the Europeans in Hungary, and she was one of the fighters there. And one of the things that really impressed me about her, even at that young age, was her mentality, her resilience, her fortitude, the way that she approached every fight, no matter who she got in the draw.
Yeah, she's had a positive start here, working from outside of the centre, staying busy with that jab. It's just what she'd look to do throughout the fight, I think, keep her off and try and land at range, like she's done there.
She has previously boxed at 54, so 4 kilos is quite significant, and she's sharp and fast and strong at the weight. Good response from the German boxer, went a little bit square-footed there and found herself off balance.
I think Ivy wants to stay off the ropes, just those half circles around the middle of the ring. That's where she's going to get success here. As soon as she hits the ropes, I think the German's going to let her hands go. So, like she's done there, used her feet.
Lovely movement that, wasn't it?
Get back to the centre off that now.
Nice work from Ivy Jane Smith.
Like she's done there. That's
nice long levers from Ivy Jane Smith, and when she puts those together, it's impressive, Johan.
Yeah, she's having a bit of success here while holding her feet from the middle. She's landing her own shots. It's just knowing when to move your feet, punch and move again.
And she's in with a quality operator here in the German fighter, Maxi Kutzer. She's, of course, the boxer in blue.
Lovely.
Nice work from Ivy Jane Smith. Lovely combination of shots there, each landing, finding the target nicely. But yes, she, in the same tournament as this one that was held in Cologne at the back end of last year, she managed to win the gold medal and also win the best female fighter performance on that tournament. So brings good credentials with her. But lovely shot from Ivy Jane Smith, adjusting her feet, not allowing the German to set herself. Lovely work with the jab from Ivy Jane Smith. Been a good opening round for her, but the German always in it, always pressuring, always dangerous, coming forward, just waiting for the opportunity to let her hands go. 5 years she had out of the sport, Ivy Jane Smith, and she says that she was a bar manager at the Yellow Arch pub in Sheffield, and she said that her bosses, Stephen Russ, she said, why are you doing this when you could be doing that? And she said when that kept being said to her, what are you doing here, just working in the bar, when really you could be out there chasing a dream? She said, in the end, her words, it did my head in and I just had to. And luckily it's made her get back into it, because it's been quite a 12 months for her. She's obviously been selected for the GB squad. She's had an outstanding couple of tournaments, and here she is in against, as I say, a quality operator. Maxi Kutzer has indeed faced KAIVO-OJA from Finland, the fighter you've just seen in the previous bout. She's a slick fighter, good movement in and out of range. Let's see, only have a minute in between rounds to make those adjustments, see if you can execute the instructions that your coaches have given to you. The German just stalking her opponent, waiting for the moment to explode.
I think there were a lot of positives there from the first round for Ivy. I'd like to see her work from the centre a bit more and let her hands go, because she did have success there, and then just adjust the feet a little bit stay out of the short range of the German, but hold the feet a bit, punch, and then just drift off.
It's a close contest. Both boxers having to concentrate for every second of this bout. The margins can be so slim in these close bouts. Every shot can count, especially those eye-catching ones when they rock back the head. Eye-catching for the judges. You don't want to be shipping too many of those. Good work again.
That's good work there. Puncher from the centre. She's having success there.
Quality stuff at long range, isn't it, from Ivy Jane Smith as well, especially when she's able to get those shots off and then just step away.
When she does so, she lets her hands go well, so be nice to see her do that a little bit more.
It's been fought at a good pace, this, but it's not frenetic and erratic, is it? It's composed, it's intelligent boxing from both fighters. German fighter just stalking Ivy Jane Smith, trying to close her down, trying to get herself into position to just slip those long levers and then let her hands go. She's had successes at times with it, as she does there with the backhand. Reverse 1-2.
She's finding a range a bit now as well.
She is. Ivy Jane's got to ensure that she doesn't allow Kutzer to get her rhythm. She's a fighter who thrives on that rhythm. She likes plenty of movement in and out of range. You have to put fighters like that out of the rhythm, Johan, because otherwise they get comfortable, they can pick you off.
Yeah, she looks very good when she stood in front of you, moving that head, and then she closes the distance very well as well. So it's something Ivy's got to be a bit careful of here, just to keep moving after she punches.
Lovely work from Ivy Jane Smith there, when she puts those shots together. Really is impressive stuff. Referee hasn't had a great deal to do in this one. Both fighters been happy to break and then get straight back to work. Just caught there, Ivy Jane Smith's got to be careful, Johan, when she's stepping off, that she doesn't go too flat-footed. Nice work again though, punching down towards the target. Nice shot again. Who can get the better of it in these closing seconds? That was a close one to call, that second round, Johan. Good performance from both fighters there.
Yeah, some good punches landing from both sides here. It's been an entertaining fight. Like you said, the referee's not had to do much. It's been very clean. But yeah, the work rate's been very high from both boxers here.
At this stage, you're going to be thinking, aren't you, as the fighter, you can't take anything for granted. We're looking at the replay here and seeing some of the successes that both fighters are having. We can just see both of them waiting for the opportunity, and there's a frantic exchange of shots at a high pace, and just seeing Kutzer having the better of that exchange there on the replay. But then Ivy Jane Smith coming back with some lovely long shots of her own, landing on the target. Both fighters are going to feel that they need this round to make sure they get the nod here, this one, Johan.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's time now for, I think Ivy needs to
third
sort of bite
last
down on the
round
gum shield a bit here and let her hands go. Because she is having success when she lets her hands go here, in threes and fours. She's looked very good at times in this fight, so it'd be nice to see her do that a little bit more now in this last round.
It's the old boxer move, isn't it? Can't allow the German fighter in range, because when she does, she's good at close range at letting those hands go, and she's good at finding the gaps as well, Johan. She'll go down to the body, back up to the head. She finds those gaps, but lovely sustained attack from Ivy Jane Smith there as she pushes the German fighter back. Kutzer, the German fighting in blue, Ivy Jane Smith of England in red. Nice tight guard from Smith, just taking those on the gloves from Kutzer.
Like we said the round before, it's about not letting her get in the rhythm, and that's exactly what Ivy's done there. She's put her on the back foot, got her out of rhythm, and she let her hands go. So a lovely work there from Ivy. So more of this now in the last round. It'll be very positive for her.
2 minutes to go in this third and final round. What's been a really intriguing contest between these two combatants. Smith in the red from England, Kutzer in blue from Germany. Ivy Jane Smith is just turning up, going through the gears here at times, Johan, isn't she? Having those flurries where she's really imposing herself and pushing the German fighter back.
Yeah, I think this would be exactly what was asked of her in the corner, and she's gone out and done it from start of this third round. So it's good from Ivy so far. She's definitely having some success in this round now.
When it comes to the corner, certainly blessed at GB Boxing to have some incredible coaches. It is, of course, no exception. Dave Alore in the corner giving the instructions to Ivy Jane Smith, extremely experienced coach, taken lots and lots of fighters through the Olympic pathway to great success. So she takes on board what he's telling her to do. I'm sure she'll be fine. A little bit out of range there as she dives in, Ivy Jane Smith, but still managing to land a couple. 45 seconds to go in this one. Ref just having a word with Kutzer to keep her head up. Coming up to the final stages of this one now. Both boxers going to have to find that last little bit within themselves, dig in a little bit, put the work in. They'll want to leave the judges in no doubt, make sure they stamp their authority on the final closing stages of this final round.
Yeah, it's been a very good third round for Ivy. She's dug deep here. And
if she can get the win here as well, that's a massive statement against Kutzer, who, as I say, won gold at the equivalent of this tournament in Cologne last year and best female fighting performance. So if she can get the win here, that will be a statement indeed. Both fighters, mouths wide open, gaping in the air, as you'd expect, because they really put a lot into that final round, as they did every round, but it was a tough final round there. They gave it everything, Johan.
Yeah, no, that was another good fight. It was busy from start to finish, really. There wasn't much break for either boxer. It'd be interesting to see now which way this one's gone.
And if you're watching at home, we were having a discussion this morning that what you enjoy watching as a fan isn't always what the judges in particular are looking for. They're looking specifically for shots landed on the target areas, technical and tactical superiority and dominance in the ring. So let's see who the judges have favoured.
Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 7, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, where your officials at ringside score a unanimous decision victory in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the blue corner, it's Macky Kutzer. A round of applause, both boxers.
Well, would have been quite the statement for Ivy Jane Smith to get the win against the very accomplished Kutzer. It wasn't to be. Couldn't argue with that either way, Johan. A very close fight, but importantly, in terms of our home interest with the England fighter Ivy Jane Smith, a great performance there against a quality German opponent in Kutzer.
Yeah, no, I think Ivy will be pleased with that. I can't quite see the scores from here, but I think she lost the first 2 rounds, so she'd have been told in that corner before the third that she needed to go out and get it, and that's exactly what she did. She dug deep, she showed she can do it, so she should be very pleased with that, definitely.
Yeah, good performance for Ivy Jane Smith. Disappointing in terms of the result, but she was in there with a seriously quality opponent and made a really good account of herself. Just 12 months she's been back in the sport after 5 years out of boxing. So a stellar performance from Ivy Jane Smith, but a really, really good win and a good performance for the German fighter Kutzer. As we move on now to the bantamweight division, women's 54 kilo category.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 8. Introducing your boxers to the ring, and firstly your red corner, representing Denmark, give it up for Melissa Mortenson.
Women's bantamweight 54 kilo category now as we go into bout number 3. The Danish boxer Melissa Mortenson making her way to the red corner. She also boxed at the Cologne World Boxing Cup last November, the equivalent of this competition here in Sheffield this week. She reached the final in that one and was beaten by GB's Elise Glynn, who we saw in action this morning. She overcame her English teammate to make her way through. She fought this morning against Samina Toussaint.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to the ring your blue corner representing England, it's Macky.
So another home interest here as Macky, representing England, makes her way to the blue corner. World Youth silver medalist, European Youth silver medalist and national champion. Just taking a sip of water before she makes her way into the ring. Her ultimate goal, she says, is to qualify for LA 2028. So perhaps Paris 2024 a little bit too soon in terms of her development, but who knows? LA 2028, who knows, could well be there making an appearance. This is the start of it, of course. Bantamweight boxer representing GB at Paris will be Charlie Davidson. She qualified through the European Games to become a two-time Olympian. But who knows, perhaps in 2028, Macky could be the next in line.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 8, which is a women's bantamweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Introducing your boxers, and firstly boxing out of the red corner, wearing all red with white trim and representing Denmark, please give it up for Melissa Mortenson. And across the ring, her opponent boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim and representing England, give it up for Macky. Your referee at the bell, Mr. George Brown of Scotland.
Well, both fighters making their way to the centre of the ring to get the final instructions from the referee. Not a great deal of difference in height, if any at all. Macky fighting out of the blue corner, representing England. A fighter from Northampton. She's in against Denmark's Melissa Mortenson, fighting in red, out of the red corner. She, of course, as I say, she did reach the final of the World Boxing Cup last November in Cologne, beaten by Elise Glynn, who we saw beat Samina Tucson this morning in the morning session. She lost out to Ireland's Michaela Walsh at the quarter-final stages of the European Games. Walsh now a 2-time Olympic champion, and this has been a good start for Mortenson. She's landed some good sharp backhands here on Macky, Johan.
Yeah, it's a good start from the boxer in red. Probably just getting the better of the exchanges at the minute. But yeah, Macky's standing there, she's letting her hands go as well, so she might get a bit of success now as the round goes on.
She's got a background in football and ballet, Macky. She says it helps with the decision making and a balance at times, which I think we can see here, some nifty footwork on display from the fighter in blue representing England. As I say, her ultimate goal is to be an Olympian at LA 2028. Of course, as I just said, Charlie Davidson, the 54 kilo bantamweight boxer who will be representing GB at Paris 2024. So this very much the early stages of development for Macky. She knows exactly what she wants, and that's a lovely backhand. She'll gain a bit of confidence from that, Johan.
Yeah, hopefully now she can build on that, and yeah, you can see it's given her some confidence. So hopefully she gives that, lets hands go a little bit, and been able to build on that now.
Well, she had a breakout year in 2022, Macky. She won 16 of her 19 bouts. She lost 2 youth national finals, but also reached the youth world and European finals. Good exchange there, and then was selected for GB in 2023. A coach, Wayne Sharp from Burton ABC. Got a great deal of confidence, always been impressed by her.
Yeah, she's not been intimidated at all here by her opponent. She's standing there, she's trading with her, which is good to see, and she's having the odd bit of success as well, so hopefully that can build as the fight goes on now. There you go again, there's a lead hook.
she's really starting to turn that back hip, isn't she, as well, and sort of really load up with that backhand now, Johan, as well, which shows the confidence as well. She's not sort of tentative about throwing now. She's really letting her hands go and sort of leaning right into it, and she's landing some cracking backhands as well. She's taking a few, but giving as good as she gets in some of these exchanges, Johan.
Yeah, she's taking a few on the way in, but she's also landing as well now, so no, it's good to see. She's not shying away at all. Very, very positive this for Lauren.
Last few seconds, and she's really come on as the round has progressed. Lauren Macky, she's really warmed into this one, started to load it with some of them shots, and she's landed some great shots there on her Danish opponent. Interestingly, Melissa Mortenson has had one fight as a pro, Johan, in 2021. She fought Spanish fighter Naira Olmedo on a show in Denmark. She won that one, a 6-rounder, unanimous decision on points, and then clearly has decided to stick with the Olympic style of boxing. But she did have one outing as a pro. Perhaps that might be something that she might look to do after this Olympic cycle, who knows, but she's certainly the more experienced in both the Olympic boxing style and pros, given that she's had one.
Yeah,
that experience is a different experience though, isn't it? Even to have the one without the head guards and a different environment, different occasion, it all adds to the experience.
But it shows what kind of opponent Lauren's in with here. She's very experienced.
Seconds out.
Lauren's only young as well, so that's a very good round for her, very positive.
And these are really important, these kind of tournaments, Johan, especially for younger fighters, because you're in there with different kinds of styles that you haven't come up against before domestically necessarily. You have to adjust, you have to figure out what to do in a very short time between rounds, and sometimes it's just a case of digging in, isn't it, and working up, keeping your work rate high, going through the gears. Like
I mentioned in the first round, she's not been one bit intimidated here, Lauren, so that's good to see. She's been trading with her, not showing her the respect, so it's very, very good from Lauren at the minute.
I tell you what, that backhand is a really impressive shot for Lauren Macky. Quick word from the referee. Seems to be indicating that the Danish boxer is slapping, using the inside of the glove on some of those hooks. The action gets back underway. Lauren Macky just pushing the Danish fighter back a little now as heated exchanges. She's giving as good as she gets in these exchanges though, Johan.
Yeah, definitely. She just needs to maybe possibly watch what's coming back a little bit, because landing's not a problem for her at the minute. If she can land and not get caught, that's a little bit of a bonus for her at the moment. So maybe just think about what's coming back.
Good shot there from Mortenson, the Danish fighter in red. Lovely backhand. You can just see the Danish fighter, she just makes those tiny, tiny adjustments with the feet, Johan, as she edges in.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Lovely lead hand there from Lauren Macky. Lands it clean, really eye-catching shot, and she'll be taking a lot of confidence from these shots, because I think she's hurting Mortenson with these shots as well. Those are spiteful, hurtful shots. She's not just sticking them out sort of willy-nilly with no purpose. These shots are landing with some spite, aren't they? With bad intentions in these shots, Johan. Good to see from the young fighter, but Mortenson, the Danish fighter in red, adjusting really well, managing to keep Macky at bay for the most part with that nifty footwork. She's again, as she edges in, just tiny, tiny adjustments with her feet, just making it difficult for Macky to gauge when Mortenson's going to launch an attack. Timed that one perfectly. The English fighter in blue, Lauren Macky, gaining confidence as this one goes on.
They're the eye catchers that the judges.
And it's impressive the way that she's loading up with these shots, flowing them full pelt, full swivel on the hips, and getting loads of power and leverage. Lovely backhand again from Macky as she turns the Danish fighter, takes centre ring again. And what's impressive here, Johan, is that at times she's having great success with the counter punches, but she's also able to lead off and launch her own attacks as well.
Yeah, she's been boxing from the middle, coming forward. She's also been on the back foot, and she's had success doing both. So it's shooting's what working her well.
Lovely lead on there as well. Some of these shots are really hurtful. The Danish fighter surely is going to be feeling some of these, because they're being landed full-blooded shots, aren't they, Johan?
Yeah, you'd imagine it'd take a bit out of her, and that's a lot better round now for Lauren Macky. Be interesting to see which way the judges have seen that, but
I'll tell you what, this is a seriously impressive performance from Macky as well, given her young age and inexperience, to get in there with an experienced operator like Mortenson, who, as I say, reached the final in the equivalent of this tournament, the World Boxing Cup in Cologne last November. You know, she's had a great deal of experience, lost out to Ireland's Michaela Walsh at the quarter-final stage of the European Games. So very experienced, had that one fight as a pro, so she brings a lot of experience here, and Lauren Macky has really applied herself well. Seems owning confidence as the bout's gone on. And some of those backhands have landed flush, haven't they?
Yeah, she's not having it her own way at all, the boxer in red. I mean, that was a lot closer round, I think, than the first round, so be interesting to see what Lauren does here now. I'm not sure which way the judges have given it, so could be a big last round for both fighters here. But yeah, Lauren's definitely made a really good account of herself here.
Well, Lauren's supporters in the crowd shouting to just be controlled. The instructions from her supporters in the crowd here today. Fast exchange from both boxers. Macky managing to have the last say. That can be important, Johan, as well. Having the last say in some of these exchanges can leave an impression on the judges.
Yeah, the way both boxers have come out here, it looks like they both need this last round. So the coaches get the scores in the corner. So
well, they won't want to leave anything to chance. Of course, as I said at the beginning, Charlie Davison is the 54-kilogram bantamweight boxer who secured her place at Paris 2024 for GB, a two-time Olympian now she becomes. So Lauren Macky looking ahead, given her tender age, to LA 2028. But Mortenson, it's not the case for the Danish fighter in red. Come close to qualification before being beaten in the quarter-final stages by Ireland's Michaela Walsh. So she will want to make sure she goes all the way in this tournament, just to make sure that she cements her selection for the next Olympic qualifying tournament next month.
Macky's really having some success
here. Macky is going to not allow that to happen without having a say, because she's really biting down on a gum shield and digging in here, throwing everything that she's got at the Danish fighter, who just keeps coming. Referee just sending the Danish fighter Mortenson back to the corner to have some adjustments to that head guard. Just a minute and a half remaining in this final round. It's been a cracker. More explosive action on the way. A good shot from Mortenson there.
This is where you've got to dig deep as a fighter. Just over a minute to go now. It's when you question yourself how much you want it.
Lovely shot again from Macky, and this one could go either way. You know, the Danish fighter, perhaps you might argue, he's had the better of it, but Macky has landed plenty of eye-catching shots, so it depends which action you prefer. But certainly been a fascinating bout, this one. You can't take your eyes off it. Both fighters loading up, putting everything into every shot.
You can't afford to get desperate here, though. You've got to keep your shape still. I know you're going to be wanting to win the round, do as much as you can, but you've got to keep your shape. Don't come over that front foot.
You can be eager, can't you, Johan? And next minute you get tagged, especially against an experienced fighter who's able to keep the composure under pressure, which Mortenson has just done in that last exchange. She's up on her toes, bouncing in out of range. Both boxers on the toes now as they're seeking to land those last telling shots that could sway it in their favour. 20 seconds remaining in this final round. Lovely shots from both fighters. Referee once again wanting those still bits of hair flailing out of that head guard. The coach just sneakily giving the Danish fighter a few instructions, as everybody does, whilst he's doing those running repairs. Last bit of action here in the final seconds of what has been an incredible bout. Fast action, high paced, lots of big shots landed. And I think as soon as the referee allows them to get underway, there's going to be a pretty explosive ending to the final seconds of this one. Unfortunately denied that thanks to the bell, but what a fight that was, Johan.
Yeah, brilliant fight again. Brilliant performance from Lauren. Again, be very interesting to see which way this has gone, but she's left everything in there today. She's given it her all. So yeah, let's see which way this one's gone.
Yeah, brilliant performance from the young fighter Lauren Macky in blue, representing England against the experienced Danish fighter Melissa Mortenson in red. Great support for Macky here, as you would expect. The home country fighters getting good support.
Yeah, she's definitely made a very good statement there tonight for herself, obviously for the future. So let's see which way.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 8, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards where your officials at ringside score a split decision in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the blue corner, it's Lauren Macky.
Well, we said it could have gone either way. Did you prefer the more consistent, you could say, work of the Danish fighter, all those huge shots that Macky was finding the target with? And not only was that an impressive performance show, and to get the win against a fighter with that experience, what a statement.
She's done absolutely brilliant there. I think she built into it. The second and third round, I think, were hers.
You can see what it means to her. She's made her way out the ropes here, celebrating with an embrace with the coaches, delighted as a smile sweeps across her face. Nice mutual respect between two fighters as they meet one another outside the ring. What a performance, what a statement. Do not look away from Lauren Macky. She is certainly one to watch. Set her sights on LA 2028. And I suspect we'll be seeing big things from her. What incredible young talent coming through the ranks. A young fighter from Northampton, Burton ABC. Coach Wayne Sharp, every right to have great confidence in her, because what a performance that was.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 9 and introducing your boxers to the ring. Firstly, the red corner representing Wales. Give it up for Zoe Andrews.
Well, joining me now on commentary, Rosie Eccles. A long list of achievements, we could go on forever. Commonwealth Games medalist, you've won everything, but there's nothing we can talk about that's more important than securing Olympic status at Paris 2024. I know it was an incredibly long, difficult, tough journey for you. Viruses and illnesses putting you back time and time again, putting you out of contention for Tokyo. You kept going, you have persevered, you were resilient, and finally got there. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen,
been for you recently?
Your blue corner to the ring, representing
in the gym,
Sweden.
trained really hard.
Give it for
Had 6 fights since I qualified, so it's been really
Millie.
busy. And obviously not competing here, it wasn't quite the right timing for me, so enjoying watching and cheering on everyone else, but it gives you that boxing bug straight away, doesn't it?
And not having that pressure as well, that you've already secured your place at Paris 2024, and now without the pressure of qualifying, can just enjoy the tournaments. And then obviously when you enter the tournaments and you're ready to get back in there, can do that as a tune-up to get ready to peak when the time is right. But huge congratulations, Rosie Eccles, because it has been a very, very tough time to get to that stage of being our welterweight representative 66 kilo category. And doing it the hard way as well, had to beat Amy Broadhurst, who of course world champion herself, an incredible fighter, the Irish woman. Still got a chance to qualify herself. I think she probably will do, but that made it all the sweeter really, in the sense that, you know, you had one of the best fighters in the world, at one time was the best fighter in the world, to beat in order to do it.
That's it, yeah. I had 3 really tough fights in obviously in the Olympic qualifier as well. I also fought the world and the Olympic champion also, so it was very busy, but it's the new pressure now. The pressure's not about qualifying, it's all about that Olympic gold medal now, so yeah. Well, fellow Welsh counterpart entering the ring now as well.
Absolutely. Let's get the formal introduction.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 9, which is a women bantamweight contest, scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the all red with white trim, and representing Wales, give it up for Zoe Andrews. And across the ring, our opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, representing Sweden, Give it up for Zara Millie. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Lee Innes of England. Can I ask you to please switch your lights off your cameras? Thank you.
So Rosie Eccles alongside me now for commentary, and as we've just been talking about, delighted that she's secured her place at Paris 2024. But her fellow Welshwoman Zoe Andrews in action now. She's fighting out of the red corner, in red of course. And Zara Millie, the Swedish fighter, in blue. From Port Talbot, just 20 years old, Zoe Andrews. Started boxing as a youngster. Followed her older brother into the gym when the dad took him down there. Says her favourite fighter is Katie Taylor. She's been schools and junior Welsh champion, Three Nations champion, and earned a bronze at the Junior Europeans. So brings a good pedigree to this. Bronze at the Boxham tournament in November. She got a gold earlier last year in May. Best boxer and gold at the Memorial Tournament in Spain, and Welsh national champion. So brings plenty to the table here, Zoe Andrews, Rosie.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Zoe's not long been in the senior game. I've seen her come up through the system, and this last year she's really started to, you know, find her way and get some really good wins under her belt. You know, she's a young one coming through, but she's got some brilliant skills, and yeah, she's landed some good shots in this fight so far as well. It's nip and tuck at the moment, but she's boxing well.
Yeah, it's a close fight. She trains in Cardiff 4 days a week, represented Wales at the Commonwealths. She actually fought English fighter Samina Tucson, who we saw in action against Elise Glynn in the morning session earlier today.
Yeah, and she actually was boxing up a weight in the Commonwealth Games, so she's boxing at a real weight now, which is 54 kilos, so it'd be nice to see what she can do when she's boxing at the weight she intends to fight at.
You're a fighter that's gone up and down in weight. What do you think of the pros and cons to moving up and down?
Well, I had no choice. I just went where the Olympic weight was. 69 really for me before wasn't my ideal weight. This is the perfect weight for me now, 66. And
what do you think the advantages of that? Would you find speed or more power and snap in your shots? What do you think it brings to your game?
Yeah, everything's different, you see. Like boxing at the light weights, they're now faster. I've always been a physical fighter myself, but I carry a bit of my own speed. But it's different. I'm kind of lucky in the respect that I've got to, like Zoe, maybe experience boxing at different weights. You meet different opponents. Often if you stay at the same weight for a long time, you face the same kind of people. But I think it's a good way to grab experience across the board. But yeah, I think Zoe's doing well at the moment though. She's doing well, but it's very, very close. She just needs to step up a little bit.
Yeah, good opening round here from both fighters. The Swedish boxer, Zara Millie, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue of course. She was beaten by GB's Charlie Davison in Poland, the European Games last June. Davison, as we just said, this weight has gone on to secure her place at Paris 2024, so a tough one for the Swede in against a top quality operator like Charlie Davison.
Definitely, but Zoe's actually just started to find her range now. Neither boxer's really truly found the range, but Zoe just landed a couple of nice little left hooks in the last sort of minute of this round, so hopefully oh, there we go, and another jab then, but it is a very close round. It
is very close. It's been slightly disjointed, I'd say, this one. Neither fighter really finding their rhythm or range. Difficult one to call, that, Rosie.
Yeah, very difficult to call. There was, I think, you know, I don't want to be very biased here. I think Zoe landed some lovely lead hooks towards the end of the round, but neither of them were truly finding the jab, which makes it very difficult, obviously, to set up the rest of their shots. So, close round, I think. It's all to play for going into this second.
And, of course, we've got a real boxing legend in Colin Jones, MBE, in the corner there, British, Commonwealth and European welterweight champion. A real legend in your neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Wales
definitely.
Sports Personality of the Year in 1983. Was, of course, the youngest boxer to represent GB at the Olympics until Amir Khan came along and beat him by just a matter of weeks. But what difference does it make having, you know, coaches like him, you know, as a Welsh boxer coming through, as you have done?
Huge, and actually Sean as well. Sean's actually also been up through the whole GB system, so the combination is brilliant. But obviously I've worked with Colin since I was 18. He really changed. You know, I actually put a lot down to him where I've got to where I have as a fighter. I still go back and train there now, and there's good, clear, calm instructions in the corner, I can imagine, from both Sean and Colin.
And if there are those who haven't followed boxing or not sure of the history of it and haven't seen Colin Jones, look him up on YouTube. They were fists of fury.
That's it.
Once you've watched a couple of those videos, if he's your coach, you'll just do exactly what he says, because he could really punch, flatten people. Let's see what this second round has in store then. What adjustments would you like to see Zoe Andrews making, Rosie?
I'd like to see her picking up with the jab a little bit more, you know, doubling up the jab up and down. That was quite good. Just to find a range and then be able to let her shots go in 2s and 3s. I think at the moment, as I said, neither really finding that jab. Find
It's
the jab.
crying out, isn't it, this, for one of the fighters to really start to dominate and impose themselves now, because it's there for the taking.
Better. There, she's used that double jab then, and I just wanted to go again. But the Swedes come out quite fiery, so I wonder if she's down. She's come out with a lot more urgency than she did in the previous.
Millie has certainly brought it to Andrews so far in this second round, but it is crying out, this one, for one of the fighters just to really put the stamp on this one and impose themselves. And
yeah, so it's just the clash of styles as well, like what makes styles make fights, as they say. So they both seem not dissimilar to each other, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this plays out as it hits the halfway mark.
We've seen these two in action before, and of course you have to adapt to what's in front of you. Sometimes you're more comfortable as a counter puncher, and you may come up against a fellow counter puncher and you have to adapt.
Yeah.
Sometimes you end up fighting fire with fire. It's what's right for each bout, and that's part of it. It's problem solving. Each opponent presents a certain set of problems that you have to solve and find a way through, and that's different depending on they might have a height and reach advantage, their style, their tactics. It's all part of learning.
Definitely.
Nice shot there from Andrews over the top with that lead left hook.
Yeah, so we had some success when she was feinting and going early in the round, but then every now and then she gets too close and she gets spoiled by the Swedish girl. The Swedish girl's quite effective at getting in close and roughing Zoe up, and she just needs to keep her range. Again, like that was much better, but now it's all tied up again.
Yeah, she sort of stepped in and brought the shoulder in there, Zira Millie.
Bit of experience.
Caused them to be a bit entangled. Referee will just break them apart. Get back underway now.
That was better from Zoe. She's finding the jab, in fairness to Zoe. Now she is finding it.
It's Zira Millie has quite a wide position from which she throws those shots. Her shoulders are wide open. She almost goes into a square shoulder position before she throws. So if Zoe Andrews can just get those shots going really, really straight down the pipe, she'll find success, as she has done on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
sometimes they're both throwing those wide bent arm shots, aren't they, and they're sort of cancelling each other out.
Very much so. That's the problem. That's what's right. It's making this round so hard to score yet again. It's tricky. They're both having a little bit of success, but nothing's really, really solid and clear.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It can be, when it's close margins like this, just those couple of big shots in a round can make all the difference on the judges' scorecards. How important are these competitions? Obviously through World Boxing, there's the World Boxing Championships, there's the Continental Boxing Championships, World Boxing Cups, of which of course this is the first of 2024, and the World Boxing Challenge. It's presenting and providing lots and lots of opportunities for, you know, rankings, for fighters to fight different styles, come up against different opponents from different countries. How important is that in preparing yourself for qualification tournaments, and indeed, should you get there, being able to perform on the big stage such as the Olympics?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. You know, that's the reason I've boxed 5-6 times since I qualified. You know, you never know truly where you're at unless you're under that pressure of fighting, and you really never know what you're actually going to be working on. Every time you box and compete, you find out where your weaknesses are, what's working well, and it gives you a reset in the gym.
And we're into the final round of this one. This, of course, the World Boxing Cup here in Sheffield at the English Institute of Sport. Following this, February and March, there'll be the World Boxing Challenge, and then the World Olympic Qualifying event in Italy in February, March time, and there's further qualification opportunity in Bangkok as well. So plenty at stake on the line for the fighters who have yet to secure their place at Paris 2024. For the other fighters, they'll simply want to rank up those points, because of course at the end of this there will be final tournaments where the points will matter by the end of the year, Rosie.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually a brilliant first round for Zoe. Start to the round for Zoe. She's done some really good eye catchers, and as much as these tournaments are key for those going into qualifying positions, actually they're brilliant for the young up and coming up through. This is the only way you learn your trade, really, and Zoe's really doing well at the start of this last round.
Yeah, she's really applied herself well in this final round. When it's a closely contested bout like this, as we were just saying, it can be that odd flurry, or a couple of big shots that can be the difference. Such are the fine margins that you can find yourself, and it's all about the work that the judges prefer. Those wide looping bent arm shots from the Swedish fighter tending to land predominantly on the gloves of Zoe Andrews, but still continued work rate.
Yeah, so successful
Maybe
Swede,
significant to the judges.
So he's not going to let this girl now get a rhythm. He should just land a few little combinations there and again, and it just can swing the fight in the direction of the blue corner.
He's just starting to walk her down and stalk her a little bit now, Zoe Andrews, isn't she? She's just stepping in, closing off the ring, trying to set herself. She caught her with a nice jab there. Nice double jab. Just wonder if she could go again there, Rosie.
Yeah, completely.
Just put it on the Swedish fighter a little bit, put her under pressure, be first and third.
There you go.
That was better, much better there. She
must have
led
heard
off with the jab, defended, and then came back with a couple of cracking shots. Really impressive from the Welsh fighter.
Just want to see her coming out of those clinches and land something on the way out, you know, as the Swedish girl steps back, just to follow her up a little bit.
When she throws those nice straight shots, she lands clean, doesn't she? Such is that wide position that Millie takes when she launches her shots. She really comes round, doesn't she, with that back shoulder.
Definitely, and she's actually quite a physical girl, Zoe. I've just moved around the ring with her before just to take her around, and she can punch, you know. She's a talent, but she's just young and she's learning the game.
Really, really important, these opportunities for young fighters to develop. Lovely backhand again from the Welsh fighter. Takes one back in return, though. A good end to that final round. Difficult one to call. Which way would you give it, Rosie? I know it's difficult when it's your Welsh teammate.
Very difficult when it's your Welsh teammate. You watch with a different lens. But I thought the first two rounds were very close, and I can't really score them. But the last round I would definitely give to Zoe. But there was not a lot happened in that first, did it? And it was a bit nip and tuck, and them finding their range, a funny clash of styles. So yeah, we'll see what the judges say.
I think what was impressive there was the way that Zoe Andrews adapted between rounds, and you could see the progression as she got better and built in confidence as the rounds went on.
Definitely.
Well, we'll find out which work the judges preferred.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 9, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, where your officials at ringside score a split decision in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the blue corner, it's Sarah Millie. A round of applause for both boxers.
Well, a win for the Swedish fighter in blue, Sarah Millie. A good performance from her, though, but there's plenty to take from that for Zoe Andrews at her young age. A really, really good performance, and it was very difficult to call. Quite a scrappy affair at times, particularly in the exchanges when they were up close.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a case of just too little, too late. I think she really came on well in the third round, but I think, you know, if the scores were close in the first and the second, it could have been that it was already going towards the other girl. So yeah, Joe was just walking past us now, but obviously she's gutted, but there's good things to take from there.
Yeah, we're looking at the replays there. We can see those looping shots from the Swedish fighter. Difficult to defend against, but Zoe Andrews landed some great shots of her own and made the necessary adjustments to make improvements between the rounds. So hopefully she can take plenty of positives from what was a really good performance as she comes to join us here at ringside. What a good performance that was. Plenty of positives to take for the young Welsh fighter in against an experienced Swedish opponent. We've got another Welsh fighter coming up here now in Owain Harris in the featherweight men's 57 kilo category.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 10 and introducing your boxers to the ring. Firstly, the red corner representing Wales. Give it up for Alan Owain Harris.
Another Welsh fighter making their way to the ring in the men's featherweight 57 kilo category. What a story this young man has, hailing from Cardiff, Commonwealth Games bronze medal in 2022, 6 times Welsh champion, 3 times British silver, and he's got a really incredible story, Rosie, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Famously wore his bright pink socks in the Commonwealth Games, which seemed to catch everybody's attention, but the Welshman just making his way in between the ropes now into the ring, representing Wales, Owain Harris.
Yeah, real talent.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner, representing Mongolia, give it up for Lkhagvadorj.
Lkhagvadorj then representing Mongolia, the man in blue making his way to the corner. Lost the Mongolian national final to Kautto and Kamar in December last year, so he'll be very keen to get his 2024 off to a winning start, but it's going to be a tough ask against a very determined Welshman in Owain Harris. This the men's featherweight 57 kilo categories. The Mongolian fighter is having a little skip around the ring, makes his way back to the corner. Referee just going over the final checks with both fighters. I think we are going to be in for a cracker here, as our MC Craig Denholm will formally, officially introduce both fighters.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 10, which is a featherweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the all red with white trim, representing Wales. Give it up for Owain Harris Allen. And across the ring, his opponent boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the all blue with white trim, representing Mongolia, it's Lkhagvadorj. Your referee at the bell is Mr. Billy McDonald of England.
So, a busy afternoon for the Welsh coaches as Colin Jones has made his way back to ringside now to oversee proceedings for his charge. Owain Harris, the man from Cardiff, Apollo's ABC. Again, well known for bright pink socks in the Commonwealth Games, where he managed to get a bronze medal. He's up against the Southpaw Mongolian fighter Lkhagvadorj, fighting out of the blue corner. A cagey affair in these opening seconds, Rosie.
Yeah, definitely. You're just getting a feel for his way. Owen can box a lot of different ways. He's really is a talent. He's a very twitchy fighter, a lot of feinting, and you can punch in bunches as well. So, but he's against quite a physical Mongolian boxer. So let's see how he fares here.
Yeah, he boxed Raul Escarado in the Boxam tournament last year. Did a great job of controlling the distance. Quality off his back foot. Won on a split decision. He was really evasive defensively and showed great agility. Another good performance in the GB tournament last year as well. Again, working well off the back foot. Plenty of movement. Fast feet. Lost that one on a split to Murat Yildirim, but who do you think made the better start here, Rosie?
Yeah, Owen's made a very good start.
Caught him there with that backhand. Will Redeem.
He's boxing very clever. He's picking him up, picking him downstairs. You know, he's changing the levels up. He's picking him with the jab, and he's coming back up to the head. He's had a very, very good start. Very clever boxing from Owain Harris.
Very difficult to judge as well because, as you say, you described it as twitchy. Those constant tiny movements make it really difficult to know, as the opponent, when he's going to strike and whether it's the right time for you to strike, because suddenly he can snap back with one of those counters, can't he?
Definitely, and he's having really good success with that jab to the body at the moment. It's opening the opponent up. He doesn't know what's coming, and yeah, he's boxing very, very well at the moment.
And he varies the backhand follow-up from the jab really well. As you said, sometimes it's the jab followed up by a backhand to the body, sometimes to the head, and mixing it up makes it really unpredictable and difficult for Lkhagvadorj, the man from Mongolia wearing blue. But he's doing a good job himself. He's closing the distance, closing him down, edging in, and getting some shots off himself, isn't he? Yeah,
definitely. He's having a good go, and he's an experienced man. Owen is just sort of, he's not long entered this senior game, and he's holding a very good account for himself, and obviously he's not long been 57 either, but he seems to be boxing very, very well at the weight, and yeah, holding his own with a physical opponent.
It's a standoff at times. It's a matter of who's going to pull the trigger first.
I'd like to see him picking him back up with that jab again, would be nice. There we go, just to find his range.
Really absorbing contest, one for the purists this, Rosie.
Yeah.
Two high quality operators.
Yeah, brilliant to watch. I've always
Every tiny movement makes a difference, doesn't it?
Definitely, and it's just bringing in those quick counters now, each boxer trying to time the other one.
Really inspiring story. Owen Harris, the man from Cardiff, started boxing at 7 years old, found himself in a bit of bother at school, and he had a real tragedy in his life, Rosie, at just 16 years old, and his mum passed away at home of a heart attack. He was there at home at the time, really difficult thing to deal with, lost his grandma a month later. His sparring partner died in a car crash later that year, so understandably, you know, as a young person trying to deal with that, fell off the rails and had a few scrapes with the authorities, stopped boxing, and a coach at Apollo's ABC called him and pestered him and eventually got him to go back in the gym, and that's the wonderful thing that sport can do for people, of course. When you're facing difficult times like that, can be the difference in giving you pretty incredible opportunities in life from having been in a very difficult and dark place. So that says everything about the incredible resilience and mentality of this young Welshman, doesn't it?
And
as well as being an incredibly talented fighter, what he's overcome is quite incredible.
It says a lot about the sport of boxing as well, as really, and he's made that decision to commit to the sport, and the sport's looked after him. You know, it's given these opportunities, and he's really flourishing now despite all the adversity that he's faced as a really young man.
He started bright again in this second round. He does seem to be preferring to fight on the back foot, which is typical of Owen Harris in his previous contest. That is what he's been comfortable doing. And in order to do that, you have to be very savvy at counter punching, because otherwise it can just look like the other fighter is pushing you back and pressuring you and dominating you. But as we've seen time and time again with Owen Harris, a really quality operator when it comes to fighting off the back foot.
Yeah, he's timing him really well. He's making some lovely movements, some lovely slips, and then coming back like there again. So yeah, he's doing very well. Incredible
reflexes, and at times he's just drawing Gantamar on.
Yeah, I definitely
just inviting him in, and then when he's ready, snaps out that jab or that backhand. When it lands clean, really is effective.
Yeah, he's really making him pay every time he sort of makes a miss, and I'd like to see him build on that now.
Again, there's plenty for the judges to score. Tactical and technical superiority, dominance in the ring, landing on the target areas. Sometimes it's just a matter of whose work they prefer. Perhaps you might be seeing this one at home as nip and tuck. Perhaps you've got somebody who's a clear favourite. Mundar Gantamar, the Mongolian, in blue, and Owen Harris in red, the Welshman. A lovely bit of footwork there from the Welshman to change his angle. That's another thing he's really good at, Rose, isn't it? Changing that angle, but it's the speed with which he does it. And before you know it, he's hitting you with a different shot from a different angle that you weren't prepared to defend yourself from a second ago.
Definitely, it's his confidence in that.
Nice lead hand as well there. It can happen in a split second, Rosie.
Yeah, he's very, very fast, and it's very difficult for opponents then to set their feet and land a clean shot themselves. And there's often something always coming back after he's made you miss too, which is very, very difficult to compete against.
Less than a minute remaining in this one.
Nice
lovely shot again from Owen Harris, and a lot of this is natural aptitude and agility, isn't it, Rosie? Because if you've got a fighter came to you as a raw novice, you wouldn't want him to be relying fully on the reflexes. It is a large part of this, a natural ability, isn't it, that fighters have that instinct when to just slip and time it and counter.
Definitely, I think that's what he's learning as well, to sort of to develop further as he's experienced the senior game. And yeah, this last year, as I said, he's just really, really come on. He's just honing his skills more and more.
He's catching the Mongolian fighter now as he's getting more desperate to close the Welshman down. He leans in a little bit and finds himself being caught by Owen Harris. Lovely exchange from both fighters there, though. Fast hands, of course, as you'd expect in the featherweight division. A good end to the second round. Who have you got ahead in this one, Rosie?
Yeah, I see Owen ahead in this bout. Definitely, he's catching the eye-catching shots. He's slipping, he's evading shots and coming back, and he looks very fit in there as well. He's very light on his feet, doesn't look to be tiring. Yeah, brilliant second round from Owen Harris.
And again, those experiences that he's had in the Commonwealth Games, and as we were talking about with Johan before, it's coming up against those different styles, isn't it, that you haven't come across before, that you get on the international scene, and it's only by having multiple sparring camps and lots of different competitions that you can come up against that. And it is different. I remember myself the first time I boxed a top class Azerbaijan boxer, and she was throwing shots that I just didn't know. I could feel them, that was for sure, but I just didn't know how she was finding those angles, and you have to adapt and you're learning as you go along.
Definitely, and that's something all the boys often find in the Commonwealth Games with the African countries. You know, we don't come across them very often. They have very rough, tough, very strong, and yeah, can easily upset them within a draw. So yeah,
good start, nice solid jab from Owen Harris to set us off in this third and final round.
Nice jab to the body again. He's had a lot of success with that, and it's really opened up his opponent for him.
He's not managing to land cleanly, the Mongolian fighter. He's able to get a certain volume of punches off. Lands one cleanly there though.
Yeah.
As Owen just held his feet just for that split second that allowed the Mongolian to get his shot off. Lkhagvadorj, and a good performance from him as well, but we certainly feel here from our vantage point at ringside that Owen Harris has the edge of it, but who knows? It's a very different thing watching it as a fighter as opposed to a judge who are watching for something very different than we are. Oh, just turned his ankle there, Owen Harris. Just felt that, just grimaced a little bit. Seems to still be moving. It was his right foot that just seemed to give way a little bit under him, but seems to be moving okay now. Hopefully just one of those that you feel for a second and then you can move past it, as he takes a few shots there from the Mongolian. Nothing landing particularly cleanly though, Rosie, not too eye-catching. I
wonder what the scores are, because Owen's obviously making him miss a lot in this round, but he's not coming back as much. Is that because he's ahead and he's just looking after himself, or yeah, I'm not sure, but he's making him miss lovely. I'd like to see him come back more, but maybe that's not the plan. Maybe he's ahead.
What fighters like Owen Harris are really good at is just sticking out that really sharp jab, then defending and coming back, being first and third.
Yes, definitely.
But it all happens literally within the blink of an eye, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so unless you can look for it for a trained eye, it's difficult to see so quick.
Good work again for the Mongolian fighter to close him down, but still not landing cleanly. Very difficult to hit cleanly, Owen Harris. That's thanks to his movement and his evasive defensive abilities. Just chucking up now, high guard, as he fires back a couple of his own. Nice work to the body, yeah. It's good to see him mix that up. Again, so moving. Difficult, isn't he, to hit and pin down. And what can happen there? Only 30 seconds remaining in this, but you can see that frustration setting in for Gantamar, who's trying to close him down and get at him and just not having a great deal of success. Such is the superior movement of Owen Harris. Yeah, definitely. He's got his mouth wide open now, the Mongolian boxer as well. He's, I think he's feeling the pace of this fight. Yeah, he's out of options. A wild swing there in desperation, trying to land on the Welshman. He just again slips out of the way. A really, really good performance from Owen Harris there. Yeah, brilliant performance, very slick. Good work from Gantamar, but really, really difficult to pin Owen Harris down and get clean shots off, which we saw there. But fantastic counter-punching, fast movement, really quality, evasive defensive ability. A good performance from the Welshman, Rosie. Yeah, very good performance, very clinical. He stayed switched on throughout the fight, and yeah, hopefully gets his arm raised to see for it. Well, both fighters in the corners having their gloves removed. Our MC's made his way to the ring. Referee just awaiting both fighters at centre ring. And we're just a moment or so away of seeing whose hand is raised. Owen Harris already got his hand in the air. He's confident. And if you go off the body language of these two, Rosie, that tells you everything. A really confident looking Owen Harris, and Gantumar perhaps not so much, as they're just having a bit of difficulty getting that left glove off.
No, and to look at Owen as well, look, he still looks fresh. Yeah, it doesn't look like that bout has took a lot out of him either, which is brilliant as you progress, as you know, through tournaments. You know, sometimes it could be 3-4 fights in the same amount of days, and you've got to look after yourself in these initial contests if you
can. Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 10, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We all officials and ringside score a split decision in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the red corner is Owen Harris Allen.
Well, as we expected, we saw the hand of Owen Harris, the Welshman in red, being raised. A really quality performance from him. Big things to come from him in that featherweight 57 kilo category. What a performance. Really controlled, mature display from the Welsh fighter. Really impressive stuff as he makes his way to do his post-fight interviews at ringside. What an exciting year ahead for that young man. Plenty of opportunities for him to show what he can do at the international level. We've got another featherweight 57 kilo men's category fight on the way between Germany and Denmark as we go to our MC Craig Denholm for the introductions.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 11 and introducing your boxers to the ring. Firstly, your red corner representing Germany, give it up for Usainu Hansen.
German fighter Usainu Hansen in red, making his way to the red corner. This for the men's featherweight 57 kilo category. Another really interesting story here, Rosie. Gambian born. He moved to Germany, 9 years old, and I say they because he's a twin with his twin brother Hassan. Both are fighters. They made a pact they would never ever fight one another. His brother fights at lightweight. At light welter, sorry,
ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner, representing Denmark. Give it up for Fredrik Lundgaard Jensen.
His opponent then, Jensen Lundgaard from Denmark in blue, making his way to the corner. 13 times national champion, European EU bronze medalist and 7-time Nordic champion. Won gold at the GB tournament in Finland in April last year. So I'm sure we set for a pretty explosive affair between these two from Germany and Denmark. Usainu Hansen from Germany and Jensen Lundgaard from Denmark as the referee makes his final checks. Just checking the gloves, checking the gum shield and the protectors. Go to our MC.
Okay,
now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 11, which is a featherweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner in the all red with white trim. And representing Germany, give it up for Usainu Hansen. And across the ring, his opponent boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, representing Denmark, give it up for Fredrik Lundgaard Jensen. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Tony Buff of England.
So an interesting matchup here. Usainu Hansen from Germany, boxing in red from the red corner up against Jensen Lundgaard from Denmark in blue. And as I say, Usainu Hansen, the German fighter, Gambian born, moved to Germany as a family when he was 9 years old. His twin brother Hassan fights at 63.5 kilos. They made a pact when they started boxing that would never fight one another. They fell in love with boxing after trying pretty much every sport. They said they fell in love with it the first time they tried it when their dad took them to the gym. They love watching the Klitschko brothers. And they said they're massive fans of the Olympics, and in particular they loved Usain Bolt, Rosie. So it's certainly been a target for both twin brothers to secure qualification for Paris 2024. He's in against a tricky southpaw Danish opponent here, as I say, 13-time national champion Jensen Lkhagvadorj, and EU bronze medalist, 7-time Nordic champion and gold at the GB tournament in Finland last year. Very different styles.
Yeah, he's obviously the boy from Denmark, very, very rangy, much taller, probably a bit tricky. Obviously being a southpaw as well makes that range even further to close down for the boxer in red. But he's physical, the boxer in red. If he can get inside that range, I think the boy in blue will have a bit of trouble.
Mixing up his guard, Lkhagvadorj, as well. Sometimes a high guard, sometimes low. I think when he's putting that high guard up, it's to try and invite Usain Hansen on, isn't it?
Definitely. I'd like to see the German boxer pick up points to the body as well, and because he's obviously got a big target, the boy in blue, to the body. So yeah, it'd be nice to see him try and work up and down and maybe get inside that range. At the moment he's sitting a bit on the edge of his range, which isn't really working for him.
Yeah, both fighters trying to figure out just how to get at one another here. Nice work there from Hansen, who managed to just slip the long levers of Denmark's Lkhagvadorj and come back with a nice shot of his own. Definitely got the height and reach advantage, the Danish fighter in blue, Rosie.
Definitely, yeah, and that's why it's so important for the German boxer to just, there's a good shot landed from him there, just to close that range and then let his hands go. He can't afford to stand on the edge of his range and let single shots go all the time, because he won't come off better. But he's had some success there with some good sharp shots.
Doesn't waste any energy at all, Hansen, does he? He's very economical. Tries to be really accurate with his shots. He certainly doesn't throw for the sake of it. He's very, very carefully choosing his shots, Rosie.
No, definitely. It's, as you said, in amateur boxing, it can only be that one eye catcher that swings around. So good work for the man in red.
Nice backhand there from Hansen that he lands on the Danish fighter in blue. Usain Hansen in red, fighting for Germany. Jensen Lkhagvadorj, the Danish fighter in blue. Real clash of styles this, the tall, rangy fighter from Denmark adopting that low guard which he seems to favour. Occasionally brings up his hands to a high guard position, perhaps to encourage Hansen to throw when he's not throwing. Yeah, perhaps that could be part of his plan tactically, Rosie.
It's also difficult to see shots when they come from the waist at times. If you're long and rangy and you know you're out of range, it's hard to see the shots come in from the waist. But I do think the German boxer had some good success there. He seemed to land the more eye-catching shots. Be interested to see after the scores if he steps up and, well, who comes out what way in this next round.
Yeah, I agree, and we were saying that earlier this morning in the morning session, Lewis Richardson and I, that it's difficult, as we can see on the replay here, you can see low hands, or low guard as we would call it in boxing for Jensen Lkhagvadorj, which what Rosie's explaining is that if those hands are not in your eye line as the opponent, it's really difficult bringing that jab up, especially if they snap it up quickly or nip him with the backhand as the Danish fighter did there. Really difficult to see it coming with any real notice because it's snapped up quickly.
Definitely.
In a low hanging position, it's out of your eye line. So that's what I'm saying, that you would think having that low guard would invite someone on, but often it doesn't. It deters them because they're not sure how to judge it. So maybe from time to time when Lkhagvadorj is bringing his hands together in a high guard position, it's to invite Hansen on perhaps, so then he can counter.
And also obviously when you're punching from low, it pushes the head back because the angle doesn't even have to be a hard shot, so it can obviously make the boxer a bit reluctant really to put that pressure on and have his head pinged back even if it isn't a strong shot.
He's very, very considered, Hansen.
It's good for the man in red.
German fighter in red. He doesn't waste anything at all, Rosie. He's extremely controlled, isn't he?
Very, very efficient, and he's actually having, despite sort of standing on the end of the range, he's quick enough that he is then having success as he lets his hands go. And
it's a pressure of sorts, isn't he? Because although he's not throwing, and bowling in and marauding forward. As you've just seen there, he's always in range, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just holding his feet, not giving any ground, ready to pounce when there's an opening. It's really intelligent pressure, and you can, as the opponent, you can feel that pressure as they're stepping in right in front of you in that pocket all the time, even if they're not throwing.
Yeah, definitely, and I think
It sort of forces you to do something, doesn't it?
definitely, and I think what the boxing blue's got to be very careful of is he seems to get caught at the end of his own exchange. You know, it seems like the boxing red's waiting for the boy in blue to throw, and then he's catching him on the way out, and that might be due to that low guard. You see, he's not bringing his hands back, and he's getting caught on his way out.
As we saw there, Lkhagvadorj just stepped in with that shot to the body, but very quickly Hansen replied with 2 shots of his own. Really intelligent boxing this, and another really good backhand for the German fighter. He's controlling the space, he's controlling the pace. He just controls the range the whole time, and
and the Denmark boxer also looks a little bit panicked, you know, in those exchanges. He doesn't look as calm. He's very calm at his range.
frantic, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very calm when he stood off, but as soon as they start exchanging, he's panicked. You know, he looks like a strong boy, the lad in blue, so maybe he's getting to him with his power. And again there,
finding it difficult to find a way through. Hansen is he cuts an imposing figure in the sense that, as I say, he holds his feet, controls the pace, controls the distance, doesn't give any ground, but he's just waiting to pounce. Extremely controlled performance, tactically really intelligent, as he's forcing the Danish fighter to have to come forward, who clearly is more comfortable counter-punching.
Yeah, definitely.
But the German fighter's got the confidence and composure not to dive in and allow him to counter.
Yeah, it's his timing that's effective. He's timing in very, very well. He might not have the range, but as soon as the boy in Denmark misses, he's quick with those counters, and he's very good, the German lad, to pivot in with that jab and then turn it into a real jab as well. And he's had a lot of success with his own jab, despite being the significantly short man.
Another subtle thing that Hansen does at times as well is just that tiny little stamp forward.
Yeah,
that little drop of the shoulder. Tiny foot feint. Just a little stamp with that front foot, little drop of the shoulder, to sort of make it look like he's going to throw and pull the trigger, and he doesn't. And that, of course, triggers Lkhagvadorj. And then that split second, again, those margins are so fine. As soon as he's sort of bought the bait, taken the bait, then Hansen fires back. Seeing some of his work there on the replay. Again, look at those tiny little feints with his upper body and his feet as well, and he's constantly keeping Lkhagvadorj guessing. But an incredibly controlled performance, this, Rosie. It's rare that you see this amount of control, isn't it? That somebody's controlling the distance, the timing, and having that patience, because when you're in with a counter-puncher, it is tempting just to go at them, and it's a bit of a standoff, and you've got to be secure in yourself that you're going to be able to do that and land.
Well, definitely when you're against someone with such a significant reach advantage to yourself. So, yeah, he's done very well. He's been very, very effective. Well, the boy from blue's come out, you know, he looks like he needs to win this last round, so he's again putting the pressure on with a tighter guard now. If you've noticed, his hands are significantly higher than they started in the bout.
You can tell now that this has started to heat up, as the Danish fighter will feel, Rosie, that he's got work to do here, and he's having to open up now, and he's
got to be careful. He's got a higher guard,
taking some shots from Hansen.
Yeah, he's got a higher guard, but he's also then more of a sitting target. He's standing stiller on his feet, so although he's having a little bit of success of his own now, so maybe having the higher guard and not getting caught is, you know, it's working better for him in this case.
And that's the difficulty, isn't it? Stick or twist, especially in these final rounds. If you feel that you're possibly behind, or you need to get that final round to make sure, by stepping in and taking the odd risk, it can have its consequences, or you can have great success. What will it be for the Danish fighter? We do feel here that the German fighter in red, Hansen, is ahead, but who knows? Judges may have it differently, of course. Danish fighter has definitely come forward more in this round, Rosie.
Definitely, and he's had a bit of success, but he's just got to be very careful after his exchanges and not telegraph what he's going to throw, especially with that backhand.
It does look like he's got a bit of power in that backhand, Hansen, doesn't he? He's landed some of those that look like they have hurt Lkhagvadorj.
Yeah, and watch Lkhagvadorj in the corner as well. You could see his face was a bit marked up.
Absolutely, yeah, and he was breathing heavily. He did look body language-wise a little dejected as well, as opposed to what we saw in Hansen's corner. He was looking confident, wasn't breathing heavily, because it's his style of boxing is not one which requires a great deal of
but he's got a big presence, you see, so as much as he's not punching, he's still pressuring.
Really interesting style. And we've seen this before from Usainu Hansen.
Just had his gum shoulder knocked out there though.
We've seen this before from in his previous contests. He does do this. He controls the range, the distance, the timing. Really impressive.
Yeah, and if you look at both the man from Denmark now, he's tired. He's got his arms on the sides of the rope. That's not a thing we're told not to do in the corner to show that we're tired, but you can see he's really feeling the pace.
He's breathing very, very heavily now. 30 seconds remaining in this one.
Getting a bit desperate as well now.
I think he's going to throw everything at him, but he's got to be cautious at the same time, because Hansen is still not giving ground, holding his feet and just prepared to fire back. When the Danishman comes in, we've seen him unleash some shots there. Didn't land quite cleanly, but you can't help but feel if they did, Rosie, he'd be in trouble, the Dane. Doing everything that he can here, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's really trying to push forward, impose himself on the German fighter, but to not a great degree of success. He's struggling to find a way through. Nice shot to the body though from
He's landed that a couple of times in this round, in fairness to him, but it's also a bit desperate, I think, and he's got to be careful what's coming back. I can imagine they've told the man in red that he's up and just to take care of this round.
Closing seconds of this one then. Last gasp attempt for Lkhagvadorj to try and land a couple of big shots on Hansen, but he finishes it with the backhand of his own. Good performance from both fighters, but from our vantage point here, you would have it in favour of Hansen, that one. Yeah,
you can't take anything away from the boy in blue. You know, he gave us all in that bout. It's just, I think the German lad was the better boxer on the day. He definitely gave us all, he didn't give up, and yeah, that was definitely a tough contest for the man from Denmark.
Yep, Usainu Hansen from Germany, Gambian born. His twin brother Hassan fights as well. Both of them have their eyes set on qualification for Paris 2024. What a story that would be if both brothers were able to do that. They did make a pact that would never fight each other. So this, the featherweight 57 kilo category. His brother Hassan fights at 63.5 kilos. Let's see.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 11, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards where your officials at ringside score a unanimous decision victory in favour of your winner. Boxing out of the red corner, it's Usainu Hansen. A round of applause, both boxers.
No surprise there, not only that Usainu Hansen got the decision, but that it was a unanimous decision, quite rightly so as well, Rosie.
Yeah.
A great performance, superb display of control when it came to timing, distance, managed the fight in a really dominant fashion in every department. Obviously a bit seeing the replays here for the Danish fighter who gave absolutely everything there. He's just made his way out of the ring and he's a little bit unwell at the side of the ring. He's being checked over by the doctor.
Yeah, that's a good thing here. We've got doctors
vomiting at the side of the ring, which sometimes can happen when you've given absolutely everything with that adrenaline, that lactic acid. It can happen where the body responds by emptying its contents.
Yeah, he'd emptied the tank in there as well. He gave us absolute all. You could see the way he was breathing. That's just pure exhaustion, I think.
Yeah, but the doctor's seated him now. He's giving him a really good check over. Of course, safety first. They'll want to keep a really close eye on him and make sure that there's nothing to do with concussion, as the doctor's just shining the light in his eyes, making sure that he's okay. Gave absolutely everything there, the Danish boxer Jensen Lkhagvadorj, but a great performance from the German fighter Usainu Hansen.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 12. Introducing your boxers to the ring, and firstly your red corner, representing Germany, give it up for Tyron Elmo.
Well, here we go then, as we get set for our 7th bout of the evening session and 12th bout of the day. And we finish with a heavyweight contest between Germany and Nigeria. A really interesting one this, as the German fighter Tyrone Amo from Hamburg, heavyweight 92 kilo category. You cannot take your eyes off the big fellas, because the power that they possess with the weight behind it, 92 kilos, anything can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring, representing Nigeria. Give it up for Adam Alore.
Adam Alore, then, representing Nigeria, makes his way to the blue corner. His alias is Big Future. That tells you something about his ambitions. He's won an English national title, and also Nigerian and African champion as well. He says he's a hunter, and he wants people to see that when he boxes how much he wants to win. Grew up in Nigeria, moved to the UK, started out in London, then moved to Newcastle. Played a bit of everything: tennis, football, basketball, rugby, but ultimately fell in love with the sport of boxing at the age of 14. And here he is representing Nigeria in this heavyweight contest at the World Boxing Cup.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 12, which is a heavyweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing all red with white trim, and representing Germany, give it up for Tyrone Elmo. And across the ring is opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, representing Nigeria, give it up for Adam Alore. Your referee, Mr. Mika Moisio of Sweden.
So here we go then, the final bout of the opening day here of the World Boxing Cup at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. What a day of boxing we've had, and we finish with the heavyweights. Do not take your eyes off this one. Big punchers, big men, everything on the line, and anything can happen. As I say, Adam Alore in blue, representing Nigeria, but moved to the UK as a youngster. Starting out in London, moved to Newcastle and got into boxing at the age of 14 after trying a multitude of other sports, but this is the sport that he fell in love with. Subsequently won an English national title, Nigerian and African champion as well. He's in against Tyrone Amo from Hamburg, the German fighter in red. Who do you think's made the better start here, Rosie?
Oh, not a lot's been thrown, I suppose, just yet to start the round off.
Noticeable though that Adam Alore seems to have taken the more dominant position of centre ring, gradually pushing Amo back. Not a great deal to take from that, but sometimes tells you something about that fighter taking that. Yeah,
definitely, with their intentions, and he's actually landed a couple of nice jabs. They both had a little exchange.
It's a nice
with a jab.
long straight jab, that, isn't it? When he sticks it out, it's nice work. We've seen him do that before in previous contests as well. I'm sure once he gets into his rhythm, Rosie, and gets that jab going, we'll see him being really effective with it, as we've seen in his previous contests.
Definitely, just got to watch his jab comes back to his face, obviously, because the man in red, I think, is looking for that backhand over the top, and exchanging with his own jab as well now. So yeah, it's a very close first round.
A lot more movement coming from Adam Alore, edging his way in. He's a little bit more economical with his movements, you could say, Amo.
Yeah.
Probably not quite the right word, but he's not moving as much as Alore anyway.
No.
As he's trying to bring him onto a shot, as he does there with that lead hook. That was a good shot from the German fighter. Landed clean on Alore, but he took it well. Doesn't seem to have troubled him too much. He's straight back.
Yeah, it's very much a battle of the jabs. None of them can find that backhand. Every time one of them throws it, they just come too close. So
we saw Alore just try and set it up with the double jab, and then
too close.
Yeah, missed from quite a distance in the end, but
both a bit cagey at the moment, I think.
Just trying to work out the range and the timing, and I guess especially at this weight, Rosie, you're trying to see
one shot can change
what the other fighters got in their locker in terms of whether they're going to respect your power and whether you need to be cautious of theirs.
So that was very good the man in blue, from the Nigerian again then. He is, I didn't expect it to be this way. I thought he'd maybe be the back foot fighter, judging by the size of the two men.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying in those opening seconds, although there wasn't a great deal thrown, he did go straight to the centre position, didn't he? Alore, in the advantage, I guess, to that, unless you are naturally a back foot counter puncher, the advantage is that you can push that fighter back. If you,
oh, nice backhand there,
finally got through with that backhand, and that, Rosie, could be the difference in a round that's that close. Landing a nice clean flush backhand, as Adam Alore did then.
Definitely, it was very, very close round. As I said, it was mostly a battle of the jabs and no one really having true success with the backhand, but then in the last closing 5 seconds that could have sealed the round for him.
And now he knows he can get through with that. That'll give him a little bit of confidence going into the second round, because it was just a matter of time before one of these fighters found the way through. You did feel like it was just waiting.
I think the man in red needs to give him something to think about. You know, he's almost not being busy enough, and letting the Nigerian man dictate. So I wonder how he'll come up now this round, if he wants to see what the information the corner's given him.
Yeah, you can see the corners there, just getting the information on board. Both fighters taking a seat at their little stools. Some fighters, of course, prefer to stand in between rounds.
Sit down every time.
These men sitting down. Yeah, I used to stand, actually. God.
Second round.
Until I had my first 10-round pro fight, and then after round 5 I was like, get the stool. This is an intriguing one, Rosie, because you feel like it's just ready to explode at any moment.
Sometimes it can be just one of them getting caught with one shot, and it can set the other one in to then up that pace. Little backhand though from the man in red.
From both fighters. Yes, indeed, as Rosie said, Elmo, the German fighter in red, just finding a way through. Not a great deal of purchase on it though.
No one's really landing clean other than that last backhand at the end of the round. None of them can really find that true backhand. Oh, that wasn't far away though.
Just stepped into that, didn't he, Alore, then? Good timing as well from Ammo. Just caught Alore on his way in. Just careful, Alore, as he makes his way in, that he doesn't step onto one of those long levers. He looks like a thick set fighter, Ammo, but he's got deceptively long arms, hasn't he?
Yes, definitely.
It doesn't look to me like although there's a slight height advantage, you would think there was a reach advantage for Alore, but I don't think that is the case.
No, I don't think that is the case. I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Just a different build, but he seems to have that same reach, doesn't he, Ammo?
I would like to see the man in blue now using that double jab again. He had some success with that, and he's sort of stopped using his jabs. You look, he's not picking with it as much, and that was better. Nice little feint from him.
Seems to have the faster hands, Adam Alore, doesn't he? And that's something that he can utilise here. German fighter, Ammo. He's good at times when he can time it and Alore steps in, but it does seem that he has the faster hands, Adam Alore, and if he can just get those going,
he doesn't pick him off on the inside then though.
Just feel if he could get those fast hands going, Rosie, and then shift his feet, it'd be difficult for Ammo to close the gap. I don't think his feet are as quick and his hand speed as Alore, but certainly this will be to his advantage on the inside to the German fighter, who worked well there to the body of Alore. Yeah,
it seems like the Nigerian man doesn't really know what to do on the inside the same. He's better out range. So surprises me that the German man isn't changing up to suit him more so in this round.
40 seconds left in this second round. It is heating up, this one. The crowd certainly on their feet, imploring both fighters to go forward, screaming instructions at them.
Just want to see a little bit more.
This one.
Yeah. A little bit more from both fighters, really. They're sort of landing a 1-2 or throwing a 1-2 and they're not really following it up. But no, close round, very close round.
A decent backhand landed from Alore there as the two fighters then become entangled. Just need to work the way out of this, and if you can land a couple of eye-catching shots at the end of the round, it can make all the difference. These are pretty close, these. Whose work are you preferring, Rosie?
I'm not actually sure, to be honest. There's little bits from each one. I'm leaning towards the Nigerian boy, just because he seemed to have that, when he has success, he seems to have that bit more. But then there's that uppercut on the inside from the man in red, and a few little short, sharp backhands over the top, but nothing really connecting solid.
Yeah, we're seeing in the replays here those long levers of Adam Alore, the man in blue representing Nigeria. Some good work from him there, but as Rosie was just saying, Amo representing Germany in red, pretty effective at times on the inside, letting those uppercuts go and landing well.
Could all be on this last round, so we see how either one comes out.
Looks really focused. Adam Alore in the corner there, taking instructions.
Seconds out.
That's what you need, isn't it, Rose? It's really important. It goes so quickly that minute. You're trying to breathe.
Third and last round.
Take instruction.
Your thoughts. You're trying to, yeah, absolutely. It's you've got to have really clear instructions to know exactly what you're supposed to do when you go back out there.
I'm looking him straight back out on that double jab. He's using his jab a lot more already and had success.
Mixing it up there as well. Upstairs, downstairs with the jab. Much better work now at adjusting his feet when he's landed, and that's what I was saying earlier. I just feel if he can get those fast hands going and then just step out of range, it's the tiniest of movements, just a little adjustment to be out of range. I just don't think that Amo has got the hand speed or the foot speed to close that gap. If Adam Alore
for his stature, he's not really working on the inside, is he? Tired, the German man. He's not really letting his hands go that much. A little bit more so then on the inside, but considering he's getting caught with those long shots.
Also, Rosie, not getting himself in position to work on the inside, because generally speaking, if that's, you know, your favoured vantage point, he wants to be up on the chest of Adam Alore, pushing him back over him like a rash, forcing the issue, and he's not. He's actually on the back foot.
Yeah,
so it's going to be
stuck
difficult.
in between two styles. It's strange. Yeah, he seems in between the two.
He's landed a couple of good shots though there, Amo. But now here he finds himself with Adam Alore with his back to the ropes, but doesn't choose to push him back, and that's interesting, isn't it? Instead, he gives ground, takes a step back, and now he's taking some shots from Alore. So he's allowed Alore off the. He was, you know, close to the ropes there. He could have pushed him back, forced the issue, and put it on him, but instead chose to allow him off the ropes. And
there on the inside now, he's not choosing to work, which, considering he's not having the same success at range, maybe suggests he's tired, feeling the pace. Is the first tournament of the year for all the boxers, so
yeah, that's a good point. Minute and 15 left in this one.
Adam's looking fresh.
It can take a couple of fights for some fighters to get into the flow of things, of course, and get that engine going as the fights go on. It can be difficult to be at full pelt in the opening bout, Rosie.
No, definitely.
Just dancing about on his toes
the worst
now,
one.
Adam Alore, and I think that's a good tactic for him to adopt, because it allows him to get his rhythm, and he seems to be a fighter that's at his best when he can spring off that back foot, get those fast hands going, and then move around. Nice rhythm again from him. See, that's much better from
really
Adam Alore, making it really difficult for Amo to set his feet and land. Much better.
Yeah, he's had good success there. Lovely little counter. I think his confidence has actually grown as this.
Switched his stance now, got into southpaw position. Just showing the judges I can do that too if I want. 20
just
seconds
to be
to go in this one.
He's a big
flashy
lad.
Stuff here.
Yeah, you just got to be careful not to get sometimes too confident. And you know what he's doing is working for him. So stick at it and see out the last 10 seconds of this round.
Yeah, he's certainly showing the judges everything in his repertoire here. Lovely change of angles.
You can see his confidence has really grown as this battle's gone on.
Really nice work from Adam Alore there. It's enjoyable to watch that, isn't it, Rosie? Sometimes it comes with its risk, but you can't deny.
Yeah, exactly.
We do like to see a little bit of flash stuff, don't we?
Especially these heavier weights. You don't see that so often.
Yeah, that was good stuff from Adam Alore, the Nigerian. His alias Big Future, which says everything about his ambitions in the sport. We certainly feel from our position at ringside that he should win that one, but it's down to the judges. They're often looking at something different than we are as fans or commentators calling the action, so who knows. But both fighters have only got a moment or so to find out as they make the way to the referee, and we await to find out whose hand will be raised.
Number 12, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, where your officials at ringside score a unanimous decision victory in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the blue corner is Alore.
No surprise with that decision there. Really good performance, and particularly to the closing stages of that as he built in confidence. A really good win for Adam Alore, the Nigerian fighter. Big future is his alias, and no doubt that will be the case. Well, in the big immediate future, we've got plenty of action on the way here from the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield for the World Boxing Cup. 4 days of top quality Olympic style event boxing. We have got some crackers on the way tomorrow, some really interesting contests today, some disappointment for our home interest fighters, but plenty more have progressed through to the next stages, of course. This a really important tournament, Rosie, because next month is the next qualifying tournament opportunity
okay,
for
ladies
the fighters,
and gentlemen,
and
that
is what they're
concludes
going to have
our
their eyes
boxing
set on, isn't it? It's really important that the fighters perform well here and cement their place to be selected by their respective nations to have the chance to qualify come next month.
Definitely, and it's actually a twofold benefit, because some they will know their selection and some not, but it's also their only chance to box and compete before the qualifier, very likely, because it's the end of February.
Yeah, it's certainly really important, and there's nothing quite like having the actual experience of boxing, different to training, of course. A total of 248 boxers will compete at the Olympics. Rosie Eccles, sat next to me here, is one of them, so a huge congratulations. Thank you for being alongside us today. We will be back with you for more action from the World Boxing Cup here in Sheffield at the English Institute of Sport tomorrow at 11 AM.